Hello everyone. If you're new here, my name is Paula for PSEN Creations. This is my first YouTube live. I've done a few lives on Facebook, but this is my first YouTube live. Today I am just working on a wreath, and I thought, let's come on in and let's work on it with you. So this is a 12-inch wreath form picked up during the holidays. So it's elevated, which that just means it sits up higher than below, than the flat ones. And it comes with 7 outer and 6 inner ties. Is that right? 6? Yes. And they're already loaded ties. That's why it's called a wreath form. And then I have this mesh that, again, I picked up during the holidays. And I'm going to cut this mesh at a 21 inch, because I need 7 and 6. So I need 13 pieces. And this is I've used this mesh before, so I don't know how much I have of it. So yeah. So my name is Paula from PSEN Creations. I make signs, I make wreaths. I do a little bit of other stuff as well. I'm just waiting for it to get a little warmer out in order for me to start doing a little bit more. But so I'm cutting 10-inch mesh, and I'm cutting it to 21 inches. And I'll probably do a cruffle, which is a ruffle and a curl. I like that. I'm not sure why. I think it's because it hides the edges of the mesh. And sometimes, the edges tend to fray on certain mesh. So that's why I like it. So if you've never made a wreath before, this would be a good tutorial. I'm dropping on my ribbon. I always do that. Oh my gosh, I almost cut my ribbon. So I have 5 pieces cut. I figured I'm just going to come on, do the whole thing. Usually when I do videos or lives on Facebook or anything like that, I have everything already cut. And for this one, I wanted to cut it all out. So I know that there's a lot of people out there that do wreaths. I'm not sure how many pieces I have because I lost count. So I live in Maryland, and in Maryland it tends to want to think that it's still supposed to be cold out, but I'm so ready for that sunshine. So again, 10-inch mesh, cutting up to 21 inches in length. I'm using an elevated wreath form that's only 12 inches. Standard, I think, is 14 or 15 inches. So it has less ties in it as well. Because it's a wreath form, it already has the ties incorporated in it. And I picked this one up after the holidays. So I got a really good deal on it. But just because it's red doesn't mean I can't use it now. All right, I think I have enough cut. So like I said, oops, sorry guys. I'm going to do a cruffle. So here's my wreath form. And I'm going to just grab something to help. So cruff, you literally just curl the end, clip it, and then you turn it around and you're going to curl the next end or the other end, and then you're just going to ruffle. Now this one's easy because it has that white stripe in the middle, so I know that I'm staying straight. Here's your cruffle. So, and then I'm just going to start at the bottom. One thing about these wreath forms that I have noticed is that they are definitely, the ties are not measured properly in my opinion, but as far as the distance, that's okay. 1, 2, 3. And you can do as many curls as you want. Obviously, if you cut the mesh longer, you'll have more ability to do more curls. But I just used that one roll. I just had enough, hopefully. I haven't really counted how many pieces I cut. I just cut to the end because I knew I didn't have that much left. So the mesh itself that I have is like a jute. I think it's like a jute fabric mesh. I also picked this up after the holidays at Joann Fabrics. And it's a really cool red and white checkered mesh. So I custom made the sign that I'll be using today. It says welcome in red letterings, and it has an elephant on each side. So I painted the sign. The sign itself is, I want to say it's like 12 inches in length, but it's a thinner sign. Might only be like 5 inches. All right. So I know that I went live, but this is pretty cool because then I'll get posted to my channel rather than me having to record it later. So I'm not talking to anybody, but that's what I do when I do videos too, is I don't really talk to anybody. So here's what I was saying about the ties not being evenly. Do you see this right here? There's no tie here. So I don't know. I may have to put one in just to make it look better, but we'll see. I have another roll of this mesh, so if I have to, I can easily open that roll up. Just want to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing in case you're interested. So again, it's just curl, 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 as many as you want. I'm just doing 3, and then I am ruffling to the other side. I don't have a very big table, so in most cases, it might be better to do a, switch this around real quick. Okay. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough. I may have to open the other roll. I might be short by like 1. In most cases, I was going to say, you know, it might be better to do like 25 or 30 inch curl, cutting of the mesh. I did not think this through. I am dropping everything. So I did the outer, and now I'm doing the inner, and the inner was 6. Yeah, I only have 5 pieces, so I'm going to have to cut. So I washed my hair today, and I decided to leave it down after I washed it. Usually I just put it up in a bun. Well, that's what I've been doing lately, at least. And it's driving me nuts because my hair's very thick. Anybody else have that problem? Take care. All right, 1, 2, 3. I'm just ruffling it up. When I first started doing wreaths, which I've only been doing it for a little over a year now, I was so obsessed with making sure that everything was aligned and perfect. And it still didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out, the way I thought it needed to look. I've quickly discovered that you literally just do your thing and you can always fix it. Oh, mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes. Now, do you love mashed potatoes with gravy or plain? That's my question. I disassembled 2 wreaths because I didn't like how they looked after I had done them. And oopsie, no. Cheese. You like cheese in your mashed potatoes? That's cool. Cheesy mashed potatoes. Mesh I'm going to have to cut because I'm going to be short one. That's okay because I'm going to actually put another one in here. Another tie right there where it's bare. I don't know why they do that. I'll have to remember that next time. For sure. All right. You have to be very careful with this cutter too. When I first got it, I totally cut my hand. I totally sliced it up. Okay, I'm cutting 2 because I'm going to add a tie, which I need to go get. So excuse me for a second. All right. Hi, Barbara. Welcome. This is my first time doing a YouTube Live. I've done Facebook Lives before, not very many, but I do them on my channel on Facebook. And my name is Paula from PSEN Creations. I enjoy making wreaths and signs and just other little decor pieces, swag, centerpieces, floral arrangements, you name it. I like having fun with it. And here I am making a wreath using a 12-inch work form that I picked up after the holidays and 10-inch mesh. The 10-inch mesh is cut to 21 inches in length. And for some reason, this wreath form, it is elevated. It has a bare spot right here where there's nothing there. So I am just going to take a pipe cleaner. I cut another piece of mesh and I'm just going to add it on here so that there's not such a gap in between these pieces. Barbara, where are you from? Where are you watching from? I am trying to do this. I cannot. I didn't want to just nilly-willy tie it on there, but I think I'm just going to have to do it that. It's not identical, but Barbara. I live in Germantown, Maryland. I'm about 45 minutes from Baltimore. So you know the weather is, I don't know about where you're at, but it's not the weather I want right now. I guess it could be worse, right? It could be colder and rain. But I'm just ready for that sunshine in Maryland. All right, so now you can see that it doesn't even look like it wasn't part of it to begin with, right? But there's no gap now, so. All right. Now, the sign that I made, again, the sign is just under 12 inches and just about 4 inches in height. I think it's a cute little sign. May have to add a bow. I'm going to put it down here and then add a bow up here. Just fishing the pipe cleaner through the mesh. Oh, Barbara, that's cool. I started about a year ago, and yeah, I enjoy making the signs. They're a lot of fun. And sometimes, you know, you want to do something different than what everybody else is doing. And if you make your own signs, then you can totally achieve that. I have a lot of fun making them, so. It's funny because I sat there last night designing a bunch of them, and I was telling my husband, I always design tons of them, but then actually executing them all sometimes doesn't necessarily happen. I have them all designed and ready to go, but then actually cutting the wood and painting the wood and painting the design on it, it just doesn't happen. Okay, so I'm just trying to secure the sign on. I don't want to pull it too tight because I don't want it to sink completely into the wreath, but I want it to not be wiggly waggly, right? Oh, all right, well, I'm doing this before I put the ribbon on, so that's okay. Some people frown upon turning it over like that. It's okay. And then I'll secure those better. Okay. Forever to try to figure out, okay, well, what ribbon am I going to use? Let me not put a ribbon on those. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. All right. So I did have pre-cut ribbon already because this was one of the signs that I had mentioned that, you know, if you make a wreath and you don't like it looks, take it apart. Salvage what you can. If you can't salvage some things, well, you know, you take a loss. But if most things you can salvage, then salvage it. So I was thinking, so this wreath, anyways, I took it apart because I didn't like how it looked with mesh and whatnot picked. So I like this idea, but this is where I struggle. Thinking of using cutting some of these up. Normally I wouldn't cut my ribbon like this, but I am doing what I'm doing. You just cut them at 12 inches. And the good thing about this, again, too, is if for whatever reason I don't like how it looks, cutting them at 12 inches, I can use them for something else because most of my ribbon tails I cut to 12 inches. And there's tons of tools out there to help you with cutting multiple at the same time. Again, everybody does it their own way. This is how I choose to do it today. I'm not going to cut any more for right now. And dovetailing, you simply take the ribbon, fold it together, and you cut upward. If you cut downward, you don't get a dovetail. You get some little pointy, which I've done plenty of times. And that gives you the dovetail. All the other ones are already dovetailed. Oh, have a good day, Barbara. And stay safe out there. All right. These scissors are great. So many people use them. Thank you, Barbara. And they're just the Betty Crocker scissors from the Dollar Tree. $1. Great ribbon scissors. Now, you probably should invest in really good ribbon scissors that maybe you only use periodically. But those work absolutely fabulous. You can buy yourself a few of them. All right, I'm going to do, I'm going to do these two together. Or should I do these two together? And then these two together? Oh, that might look nice. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do the red and the black and red hearts together. Red, white polka dots and black and red hearts together. Like I said, I probably am going to try to put a bow in here, so and the ribbon, you just simply fold in half, find that halfway mark. If it's wired, which is the best ribbon to use, and then just plop it in there. And the twist ties, I'm simply just bending them down. You can cut them, you can curl them. These are a little bit different because they're tinsel ties. So they're a little different. They're a little stiffer, I guess, is what it is. I'm going to put the black on the top. So I'm just bending them down and then fluffing out my ribbon. So again, you take them, lay them together, bend them in the middle, and then pinch them in the middle, and then just go like that. and curl them, making a little birdie. Apologize. I said I was going to potentially not do those, so we're going to put it right here. I like how that black and white polka dot and black and white checkered looks. It looks really nice. You guys think? Yeah. Now these are canvas, not canvas ribbons, so they're a little bit, I don't want to say flimsy, but they're definitely not as stiff as a canvas ribbon, which the black and white checkered is a canvas ribbon. So I prefer the canvas ribbons because I think that they're easier to work with, or they sit up easier. You can manipulate them easier. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Canvas ribbon is just, I mean, this satin ribbon is just driving me nuts. It just doesn't lay as nicely as I would like it to. I don't know. Okay, so I have trying. I have to cut a few more pieces of ribbon. The black and white checkered one I actually got after the holidays last year. And that's a 2-inch ribbon actually. Whereas the other ones are 1.5 inch. But they're both cut to 12 inches. 12 inches. The ribbons are cut to 12 inches in length. And then they're dovetailed. The wreath form that I'm using is a 12-inch elevated wreath form that I picked up again after the holidays. Just a great tip, you know, if you can pick things up after the holidays, especially if they're like just basic colors. Like this wreath form is red, and you know, it's not, red's not only Christmas, right? Red could be anything. It could be patriotic, it could be Valentine's Day, it can be just every day. This is just an everyday wreath. It says welcome on it, right? Everyday wreath. I'm using ribbon that I picked up. Actually, the ribbon didn't, well, this is Valentine's Day ribbon, right? Because it's, but they're just hearts and on a black satin ribbon. The mesh was this red and white. It's like a jute fabric mesh. And that was a after the holidays type of purchase. It was out for Christmas. So I was like, well, yeah. So always look for things like that if you can, if it's within your means. All right. Like I said, I was thinking about maybe doing a bow. I'm not going to put ribbon in this. So I have 2 ties that are right here underneath the sign, but they're like literally way underneath the sign. So I've decided not to put ribbon in them. But I have these 2 here that I need to put ribbon in. need to cut. I feel like I lost. Oh no, I didn't lose it. It's in the back. That's how I'm doing it right now, just because I wasn't sure what ribbon I wanted to use, and I had a bunch of cut pieces from a wreath that I disassembled. I also said, just don't be scared to make a wreath and then have to take it apart, because sometimes that happens. One of these. Sometimes you just don't like how it looks after you get it all put together. Mine was, I got it all together. I went to take a picture of it and I was like, oh, no, not what I had envisioned. Right. And that's another thing. If you're able to, see, I had that's extra. If you're able to buy those, oh, I have to dovetail them. So just taking them and them together, and then you're just cutting upward at an angle. That dovetail. If you have really good scissors, I'm not saying these are horrible, but these aren't super duper scissors. They're Dollar Tree $1 scissors, Betty Crocker's, that are fabulous. But if you have really good scissors, you can get through multiple pieces of ribbon at the same time, which just can go by faster for you. All right. But what I was saying is, if you have the means, definitely, buy 50-yard rolls of ribbon for those colors that are, or there's patterns that, you're going to use more often. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. So I did have to add a tie to this because there was a huge gap. It was a work wreath form, but there was a massive gap over here. So I did add a twist tie to it, a tinsel tie. And I don't think you can really tell that I had to add something. So that's a plus. And the mesh was cut to 21 inches in length. Now, if you're looking to only, let's say you're doing like a standard wreath form that's, 14 inches or 15 inches, they usually have 18 twist ties. And if you're looking to only use one roll of one roll of mesh, then the max that you can cut your mesh at is 20 inches in length, because that will should give you exactly 18 pieces, which is what you need for one piece for each pipe cleaner. This wreath form had 6 ties on the top, and I think it was 7 on the outer, but I had to add an additional one, like I said. So that was the 14 ties that I had. So here it is. Oh, I guess it's like this. It looks like this is what I was saying about this not sitting properly, then it makes it look like it's bare over here. I think I'm going to try to add a bow over here. So I'm going to work on a bow. I'm not the best, most proficient bow maker, but we're going to give it a try. This is the Easy Bow Maker. And I'm going to do this. This. I'm not sure how much of this I have left. I guess we can try this. And I'm trying to think if there's, yeah, I think I'm going to just go with this. So usually I always want to start off with your thickest at the bottom. So this is a 2-inch. I'm going to make my tails, I'm going to make my tails to 8 inches. So 8-inch tail, my twist. I always put this thing on wrong. I'm going to do 5-inch loops. So I don't have to twist this ribbon, but I am going to. Usually you twist because you want the pretty side to be up. And that's how you get the pretty side to be up, is by twisting. Sometimes if the ribbon is too stiff, it fights with you. This is not the super stiff ribbon, but it has stiff outer lining to it. So that's what's... And this last one I don't have to twist because it's the last one. So I'm going to do 2 loops of this. Put a tail. I just lost my little prongy thing. Sweet. I'm going to do this to break it up. It's not going to stay in there. I have to hammer it in, but I'm not going to do that right now. I don't know how much of this I have, but I'll do a shorter tail. No, I'm going to do the same size tail. I'm going to do a shorter loop. So this loop was 5 inches. We're going to try to do this one 4.5 inches. God, I can't see. Seriously? And remember, this last one you don't have to twist because you're done. Well, at least I'm done. Just cut off my tail. Now we do our last one. Do your tail, twist. Do this loop at 4 inches. So we're going to go down another 1/2 inch. I'm not a big bow person as far as like making them or putting them on my designs. I think part of that is because I never think that my bows look nice. And I think there's a place, you know, I don't want to say a place and a time, but some designs look great with bows, other designs, there's no need. So All right. 4-inch loop. Don't have to twist this one because, no, I do have to twist this one. Because that's the end. And this Easy Bow Maker is, you can get it at Michael's. I know a lot of places are obviously closed, definitely here in Maryland. But you can get it at Michael's or any of your craft stores or anywhere online. I got mine at Michael's, and I used, they were having a 60% off regular price, any one regular price item, coupon for any one regular price item. I ended up paying, I think, $6 and some change for it, because originally it's like $15, and I ended up paying $6 and some change for it. So definitely worth it. All right, I have some ties here. I'm just gonna have, I'm not sure it's gonna be thick enough, but it's not a huge bow. So you just want to put your zip tie through there. And then before you completely tighten it, I want to put, sorry guys, a pipe cleaner right through there. And that's what's going to allow me to tie it to my wreath. You just want to make sure nothing's turned around. You might not be able to twist after you tighten it. And you can make the pipe cleaner longer if that's what you choose. All right, just going to tighten this sucker up. And I'm not going to use those scissors because I've deemed those my ribbon scissors. And then I'm just going to twist. Oh, how'd you get up there? Sometimes these ribbon tails. There's so many bows that you can make. This is the only one I know how to make. I'm working on learning the Terry bow, but using what I have. Not the foreign one, or I think it's the foreign one. All right, I'm going to put it in. Poke it through the mesh here. And the reason why you poke it through the mesh is because you want that extra stability. It's okay because I haven't fluffed it yet, so it's okay. All right. I'm going to dovetail these guys because I hadn't done that before. You don't have to dovetail them. You can curl them. Some people do really long ones and curl them. kind of lose some of the elephant here. It's okay. I feel like my tails are crazy. We have to move my bow down. I mean, my sign down a little bit because the tails are kind of taking over the sign itself. So it might be a better idea to move the sign down. I don't know if that's going to make a difference, though. You know? Or do I just try to get the tails to go? Kind of like, I don't know. I'll have to play around with it. Yeah, I probably have to move the sign down because it completely overtakes the sign. But I will play with that later. I've been on way too long already. I hope y'all enjoyed this live. It was my first YouTube live. Thank you so much for those that joined me. Again, my name is Paula from PSEN Creations. I also have a Facebook page, PSEN Creations, on there where I do lives as well. And yeah, so I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for joining.